Morning everybody, welcome back to the shed. Today's task is to replace the suspension arms, both the lower suspension arm and the control arm on the BMW E65 7 Series. This process is all very similar on most 5, 6 and 7 Series cars, so if you follow this guide you should be able to carry out the process on those cars too. So what we're going to do next, we'll jack the car up, put it on stands and get the wheel off. Okay, the arms we're going to be replacing is this one here, which is the thrust arm, and this one here. As you can see, it's a ball joint at the end, where it joins the strut. And a bush at the back. Hopefully you can make them out. Just there, there's a bush in there and a bush in there. Okay, the reason I'm replacing these is fairly straightforward, to be perfectly honest. I'm getting a little bit of vibration through the wheel, and that's basically caused by these bushes being worn. It tends to be under braking. The brakes are in really good condition. These were replaced not that long ago, and these are good quality Brembo discs and pads. Basically what I suspect is that under braking the bushes there's too much give in them basically, and it's causing the arms to rot. In fact, as you can see, look, I'm able to move them by hand. Hopefully you're able to see that. Let's put you on the stand and hopefully that'll remove any movement from me. And yeah, so I'd say that they're fairly worn. Okay, unique to this side of the car is this little device here. This is the headlight aim adjuster. This is what sorts out the headlight aim. When you start the car, the lights go up and down dependent upon the weight in the back of the car. So it's just a 10mm nut at this end, but it's only on this side of the car, so this is the only side you need to be concerned about. But what is worthy of note is that the actual sensor itself, the actuator arm, is made of plastic, and it can be brittle, so it's worth being ultra careful with it, that you don't snap it, because believe it or not, they're not cheap to replace, those little sensors. So just be careful with it, and hopefully we won't have too many dramas. Okay, let's start by splitting those ball joints apart. As you can see on that side, we'll start with this arm. We'll start with the lower arm. This side looks like I think it's a 19 by the looks of it, but there's a Torx bit which I believe looks like a 240, T40, sorry, T40 Torx bit, and a 19 nut. We'll crack that off. Hopefully the ball joints will come out dead easily. If not, then we'll have to get aggressive with it. But I've got the tools, the right tools for the job. Actually, this nut wasn't a 19 at all. It's actually a 21, so I was way off. I've got a T40 socket there, but what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and crack the nut first, and you never know, it might not rotate. So far so good. And there we go. As you can see, the ball joints just come loose. So now I need to fit my T40 socket. To prevent the ball joint rotating. Okay, so there we are, the nut off. Next, I'll undo the 10mm nut on the back of the headlight adjuster. Okay, the little ball joint on the adjuster itself has little spanner flats which are a 9mm, and then the actual nut is a 10mm. So hold it tight, just crack the nut off. Don't be too vicious with it because, like I said, it is plastic. That release arm up here. This arm itself is metal, but you just got to be careful. Don't force anything, because the last thing you want to do is snap the arm and then have to shell out for a new headlight adjustment sensor. Put the nut to one side. And there we are. There we are, we're free. And as you can see, the arm moves up and down. And we're not interfering, nothing's broken, we're all good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to release the ball joint for this arm. We'll do both of these while we're at it, and then we'll move to the inside and undo the bolts on the bushes. Next, we'll crack this nut off. Again, it's much the same routine as the previous one. We'll just need a bit of extra effort on this one, I think. There we go. And we'll do it like this until such time as the ball joint decides it wants to start turning, which is now. And again, it's a T40 socket. And there we go. That's both the nuts on the ball joints removed. Okay, to enable us to get to the bolts on each of the bushes on both arms, there's these two plastic covers need to be removed. They're only held in with several of these 8mm screws. So I'll whip all them out, take both the covers off, and then we'll see where we are after that. Okay, let's set about getting these bolts out. 18mm is what's needed for this. and I'd imagine they're going to be pretty heftily, I would imagine that they're pretty tight. Okay, here we go. There's the nut, and there's the bolt. Okay, that's the bolt out at that end, so the arm will drop down. I've just got to now try and feed Okay, something I didn't anticipate was that it was actually going to fall on the bottom, foul on the bottom of the shock absorber. That's easily solved though. It's literally a pinch bolt here, and the hub carrier will slide down. That's okay, easily overcomeable. Okay, something I didn't foresee is now trying to feed the arm out causes it to foul on the bottom of the shock absorber. Unfortunately, there's just not enough give in it to get it out any other way. So the only solution is to drop the hub carrier down through the shock by simply releasing this pinch bolt, and then we can move it down. Never mind, a little bit more involved, but nothing that we can't overcome. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to drop the bolt out for this arm as well. And then the theory is there's nothing stopping this whole hub carrier coming down off the shock absorber. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, all I had to do was move it down a little bit, only a few millimeters, and that gave me just enough room to get the ball joint out. So next thing we're going to do is get the new ones in. Okay, what we've done, I've refit the bolt holding the shock to the hub carrier. The bolts are through each arm, as you can see, and the ball joints are also in place. Now, what's important to know before tightening these bolts is that the weight of the car needs to be on the arms, basically. So you need to lift. The reason for this is if you have them hanging and then you tighten the bolts, what will happen is the bushes will prematurely wear, because then when you lower the car onto its wheels, the arms will obviously raise up and the bushes will stay in the position where you tighten them, therefore twisting them, and that will just cause premature wear. So you need to lift the weight of the car up on the shock, which is the reason why I've got the jack here underneath the hub. The arms are in their like basically in the resting position, and now we're okay to tighten them. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, here we are. That's both arms fitted, all the bolts done up, tightened to spec. Got the torque figures out of the manual. Bolts are refitted in the shock absorber, the ball joints are done up tight. I've refitted the headlight aim adjuster down here. All that remains for this side is to refit the plastic covers for the underside. I'm not going to do that yet though. I'm going to do the arms for the other side of the car first, which are identical to this side in every way, with the only exception being that there is no headlight aim adjuster on the other side. So that's the only other step that I don't need to do on that side. One other thing that I should mention is, because we've obviously replaced some suspension components, it is advisable to get your tracking checked. Otherwise, if it's out, all that'll happen is you'll just wear through your tyres faster. It's a false economy not to check it, unless of course you like replacing tyres every few thousand miles instead of every other year or so. A lot of places, certainly in the UK, will carry out a check of your tracking for free anyway, and they only actually charge if they do any adjustments. So why not? Okay. Hope you found this video informative and helpful, and gave you some confidence to go and have a crack at it yourself. Any questions at all, leave them in the comments. Hope you feel like you can give me a like, and maybe hit that subscribe button. Thanks for coming along, guys, and I'll see you in the next video in Kev Shed. Bye bye for now.